Hi there, Peter's my name. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and I'm going to give you a review of the Hitair Motorrad Airbag jacket that I've just bought from crashbounce.com in the US. Big shout out to Mike from crashbounce.com. That guy went out of his way to answer all my emails, all my crazy emails about airbag jackets, and my phone calls and all my inquiries. He got a special order in Japan in the factory to build this 5XL size for me. It's not common. Most Hitairs go up to 3XL, the biggest ones, and most of them a little bit less than that. This Motorrad model was made up especially for me in a 5XL and was discounted with the normal coupon discount system. The guy is a legend, and I'm really happy. And again, crashbounce.com, the only place to get Hitair. That's pretty much all he does, is Hitair jackets around the world. Specialist, I can attest to that. I wouldn't buy it anywhere else. You'll get lost in the system. Crashbounce.com, speak to Mike, he's your man, and he'll get you one of these fabulous jackets. I'm going to be doing a full review on this jacket today, including deploying the airbag, using a GoPro Hero 2 camera system in 1080 definition with 25 frames a second, PAL. Most of my normal good camera equipment I've loaned to a relative to do a little video, and so I'm stuck using my Hero 2. So apologise if the quality and the jerky and all that sort of stuff. I can't really control a lot of the settings in this camera, but we should be able to get through it. The point of this is to show you the airbag jacket and how it works, and I think that message will be delivered quite well, irrespective of the bad lighting. It's a great jacket. Weighs about 2.5 kilos. It's like a normal mesh type jacket. As you can see there's the brand name Hitair. Got a CO2 gas tube system in here that will, when the lanyard is pulled out, will inflate the jacket. I'm just going to do a demo of the jacket shortly, but you can just see from general sort of look and feel that it's got the normal types of features that a jacket has. This, my toll pass goes in a little pocket in there, and just using my GoPro camera here, so it's not ideal, but it's doing high def. Got some ventilation happening in here, some adjustments here for the arm pockets, with a couple of normal pockets on the front there, which is normal sort of activity, and at the front you can see there's some pass type pockets here. There's a top pocket here for normal sort of things, and then again some more vents on this arm and adjustments here. Some vents under there too, you can see, to let some nice air come running in. Also got pockets in there on both sides that you can put your hands in when you're standing up. And looking on the back, we've got a couple of vents there on the back. You can zip up and zip out. This one here is part of the airbag system. When the airbag deploys, you'll notice that pops open like that. You leave these clips on all the time. That inflates to protect your tailbone. You can see some more branding there. And lots of reflection and stripes and things all over the jacket. Lots of really nice colours and piping. I'll just show you inside the jacket. Just has Velcro and zipper and buttons, the normal sort of thing. So I've fitted an additional back protection piece there that I got from Hitair when I bought the jacket. It's quite a nice jacket. It's quite comfortable, I've got to say. The particular size I've got here is a 5XL. As you can see there, very hard to get. Took me about 2 months to get that out of Japan as a special build. They normally only go up to 3XL, but for fat bastards like me, you need a big size. Some inner pockets, the usual sort of stuff that you'd find in a jacket. As to it being completely waterproof, well, it's not. It's the typical water resistant. The actual fabric itself, I was a bit disappointed to find it was 300 denier polyester, rather than the sort of more common 600s and up to 1200s on my dry rider jacket. But they assure me that it won't wear through if I go grinding down the road. Obviously got some elbow protection in there, as you can see, and some shoulder protection, the standard sort of stuff that you would find in most of these jackets up the top there. And the jacket itself, when it's got the canister and everything in it, weighs probably in the order of, feels like 2.5 kilos. Certainly feels a bit heavier than my normal dry rider, which is up here. That's my normal dry rider that I wear, which straight away I can tell the denier of the fabric is a lot heavier. Even the arms just feel a lot better. You know, similar sort of features, yeah, that sort of thing. This is a 6XL size jacket, and it feels, I wouldn't say big, but it feels pretty comfortable to wear. And comparing my 5XL Motorrad, Hitair Motorrad next to it, it's pretty similar in size, I guess, but I mean, this is a 5XL, that's a 6XL. They both seem to be about the same size. I'd say the fit feels pretty much the same on both of the jackets. Okay, I'm going to give you a demonstration of how the jacket will deploy in a minute and see how it goes. Okay, here we go. We're going to try and test the Hitair Motorrad Airbag jacket. I don't know if I've got the strength to pull this out, but we'll try.
Whoa, fuck.
There we go. Arm protector. That's pretty strong. Let's try it. Okay, we've just deployed the jacket. Seemed to go pretty well. I'm now going to have to replace the CO2 canister. For this particular model, this particular size, it needs a 60cc canister, as you can see there. They have smaller canisters like 45s and 50s, that sort of thing, or 40s or 50s, but this one's got quite a big system in it. And it's supposed to be the System 2 rather than the original system. And I've got to replace this canister now, so it should be fairly simple. These are the two components I'll need to put back in. This one normally stays in the jacket and attaches to a lanyard on the bike. And when I've deployed this jacket, I've pulled this thing out, so I'm going to have to put that back in somehow. Okay, I'm going to remove the old canister now. Should be just a simple matter of twisting it out. It's a bit hard to film with one hand and twist out with the other hand, but I'll do my best. So I've got a few turns there and it's now started to come out. Incidentally, one of the things I was thinking of with this canister was that it might be quite uncomfortable to have on the jacket and wear with the jacket. With this whole canister system here, there's looks like a flat sort of plastic piece behind it that is then padded. So this canister itself doesn't hit you in the chest when you're wearing it. It's this rather flat section here, and I find it's not uncomfortable to wear. So what I'm going to do is just quickly look at the manual and make sure I follow the right procedure before I screw the other canister back in. Okay, this is one of the lanyards. I bought a few spares that goes onto the bike, so you can see that there's an adjustable type loop arrangement there that you would loop around something solid on the bike. Mine's around some of the seat mechanism, and then it has like a little coily section here so it can expand right out, and so that attaches to the bike, and you'll notice that that male piece there clips into this female piece here, just like so, like that. It's a bugger of a thing to put on once you've taken off, and as I've done a few times, I've forgotten to attach it, and you're cruising down on the road with your right hand on the accelerator or the throttle, and you're trying to use your left hand to reach over and attach it. It's a bastard of a thing, but ideally don't forget it before you take off. Okay, just looking at the trusty old manual, you get quite a few bits and pieces of manuals and helpful, useful bits of information with this thing when you get it, and just give you a bit of an idea of the types of stuff. So this will tell you how to repack it, how to fit it, that type of thing. So if I look at this one here, it's just got accessories and additional cords and how to fit the lanyard, that type of thing. This is the actual manual itself, and it's in English, thank God. It just sort of goes through how it works and what it looks like before and after, that type of thing, how the system works and how the cartridge works and is deployed, what sort of force you need to pull on it. It says about 35 kilos to deploy it. I can't say that I tested that, but certainly gave it a bit of pressure before it came opened. That just shows you a little bit about the jacket and where the airbag flows in the unit. Just some more information there about how it fits in the jacket, and dismantling and assembling, how to put it back together, one touch release, how to connect it up, attention after activation, presumably some warning about how to reassemble, so it's just sort of telling you there how to reassemble it, and reassembling the key box. So it's showing a guy there pushing all the air out of it, so I guess I'll have to do that before I try to put the thing back in again. So it looks fairly simple, I guess. It's describing a process here of putting Allen keys and screws and all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to have to read this and see what needs to be done. Okay, so I've spread it out on the floor, and exactly as the little Japanese man in the manual shows me, I've flattened all the gas out of it, I guess, and so it's ready to reassemble with a new cartridge. So looking at this procedure here, it looks like it's wanting me to insert a bolt and screw it up with an Allen key, and I'm presuming that's to allow access to this area here to be able to get the key ball back into the system. I'm just shuffling around here to find where the damn thing. There's one there, for example. Here's one we prepared earlier. So, you know, trying to get that key ball in there. Looks like we're going to have to use the procedure to get that in. So just under this zip a little bit more, allows me better access into this unit. So, as per the documentation, take aforementioned bolt with Allen key head, insert into base of cartridge holder, turn it round, presumably, tighten it up or something. So yep, that's bitten on a thread there. Then take supplied Allen key and continue to screw that in there. Now I'm assuming that that's going to pull this key ball slide mechanism down to allow the key ball to drop back in. I would just assume that's the way this thing works. I guess it would be quite useful if I read the manual properly before doing this, but seems to make sense that it would need to get that key ball hole lined up with the hole in the plastic housing. So at risk of damaging this thing, I'm just going to keep screwing this thing up till that ball housing becomes level. So I've done that, and I guess I'll read the manual a bit more, but I'm thinking that ball's now going to fit quite successfully into that hole, and so on and so forth, but I'll read a bit more of the manual. Okay, that seems to be the ball in there now, so you can notice it's got a little ring on the outside, and to my mind that ring just needs to be flush with the top of this section here. That seems to be the way it goes. So you can see there I'm getting it pretty much flush in. It's not really properly described in the manual, that's the objective here, but it does kind of make sense. So now the next thing will be simply to unscrew this Allen key screw again and let the ball take up the tension on the system. So let's do that. Okay, so looking at the manual again, obviously there's a little red cover here that goes down. This is meant to go over this ball to stop it popping out when it's in transit or storage. The manual indicates that if you can't get that red protective cover over the ball mechanism, that you haven't put it in deep enough. So that's apparent. So what I'm going to do is put that screw back in again, tighten it up, let it take up the tension, and see if I can get that ring to sit a little bit lower But you can see there from an angle it's not sitting down all the way. So I guess we want this thing to work, obviously, when we need it to. So just going to get some tension off that again and see if I can get that ring just sitting a little bit lower. So first of all, I'm going to get it out and maybe do a little bit more work on lining that up before I try and insert the ring. Okay, I think I've got it perfect now, because I find I can pull that red cover down very easily over the whole mechanism. There's no resistance there, so it's clearly the ring seems to be about level. So I'll just take that bolt out again and see that it doesn't move up or do anything weird. So that's the bolt being loosened now, and it's come out quite easily, and the ring seems to be sitting in there quite nicely. Hasn't moved at all since I've taken the slack off the bolt, and pull down the red protective cover quite successfully. No issue there. So from a documentation point of view, I appear to have followed the process, and I'm pretty comfortable that that's going to save my life when it needs to be done. Well, this looks like the end of our procedure, so it looks like all that remains is to screw a new cartridge back in. I noticed these cartridges are sealed at the end. If you look at a spent cartridge, which we've just spent, it's got a hole in it. I'm presuming that as I screw that in, it'll be pierced inside the unit. If I put my finger in there and try and feel it, well, can't really feel anything. I guess it'll be it doesn't get pierced in that case until it's deployed. Then presumably this mechanism jumps up when the bolt comes out and pierces the thing, a bit like a gun firing, I suppose, with a trigger. So I'm screwing this in now, not really getting too far with that. Okay, I've got some traction now, and screwing it in. Okay, so then just going to do it as tightly as I can, I guess, and that should be enough, because it's not that it needs to be pierced as it's screwed in. It'll be done when the trigger's fired. Okay, well, that's about as tight as it can go, pretty much. So that should be the end of my process. I almost feel like pulling that out again just to see if I've done it right. Just check my slide goes over, my protective slide for storage, as you can see. No problem, no resistance, straight on, straight off. That just sits there, it doesn't seem to get locked up or anything. It sits into some little ridges up there. So go up, clicks in, and it's not going to fall down, hopefully, in transit and block. Mind you, 35 kilos of pressure pulling on that, even with that piece of plastic on, I don't think this plastic's going to hold. If you're going to be thrown off the bike with 100 kilos of pressure, it'll rip it off anyway. So I'm not quite sure what the point of having that made out of plastic is. But anyway, that's the jacket recharged. That was really good fun. And the feeling that I had with the jacket when it was deployed was that the tubes were extremely firm. I felt that they would protect me. I ran myself up against a wall there and sort of had a bit of a feel of what sort of protection it was affording me, and it felt quite good. So I think that it'll do its job. My only reservation with this jacket, as I said, is I'm not convinced that the 300 denier nylon on the outside is really that adequate for abrasive sliding. I am told by the US distributor who I ordered this jacket through that that's not the case, and that many people have had abrasions sliding all over the place and abrasion experiences, and it hasn't worn through. But I'd be concerned that maybe you use it once and slide down the road on it, and it sort of saves you, but the actual material might get damaged quicker than or more so than a jacket that has a higher denier material. So just putting the jacket back together, there's some pretty low sort of threshold clips here that you clip, say, the tail section into, so that when the jacket deploys, it will break open these things. It doesn't cause any damage, as you've seen, but they just pop off quite easily. There's also one of these on the neck, as you might notice. Take this thing down, pulling everything off the table. So up on the neck area, I guess you'll notice when the airbag deploys, the neck inflated as well, as you can see that material in there. and again there's some little low threshold clips there that in the normal course of riding will stay in place, but when they need to pop open when the bag deploys, it certainly does the trick. So look, overall I'm happy with the jacket. I'm going to continue to ride with the jacket. It feels about the sort of same warmth as my current dry rider. Again, my dry rider feels a bit heavier in its material, and you can really see that, the thickness of the arm sort of fabric. I believe this is 1200 denier up here and these are 600 in the panels, whereas this is 300 all the way through, and it is flimsier. You can tell straight away, and I guess it just concerns me in that regard. Whereas this one here and others similar to it do tend to have a little bit more of a thicker sort of feel to them. I'm not sure of the model of this dry rider. I can't recall what it is, but it is the top of the range. It's about 400, 500 Australian dollars, and it's I think it might be Nordic or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but it is a very good jacket, and it's got D30 armour in there. As you can see, the yellow or the orange standard D30. I suppose I could put those panels into this jacket and swap them over if they fit, if I'm more comfortable with them. But seriously, I cannot remember the name of this jacket, but it's either the top jacket or the one down from the top. So look, that's my review of my fabulous Hitair Motorrad jacket. So the name of this jacket is the Motorrad. I've got a few different styles. They call this a winter style. So see how that's the Motorrad model, Hitair Enduro. It's meant to be a long jacket on someone like me who's quite huge. It doesn't feel that long, feels like a short jacket, but I'm pretty happy with it. And if you want to get one of these things, the place that I bought mine was in the US, a place called Crash Bounce. They didn't have any in stock because they had to custom build this jacket for the size. So it took about 6 weeks to get this thing in, maybe a bit longer. Paid about, I think, maybe $550 for this jacket, and it came with a bunch of extra lanyards that I think I got extra 3 lanyards for it. I got about 6 extra cartridges. They're about $20 each. I would have to say this jacket was a total bargain, to be honest. I really would have expected to pay somewhere in the order of $1,000 or more for it, including shipping. And to land it in Australia, in Australian dollars, for about $550, I was over the moon, to say the least, particularly given it was a custom order for a fat boy. So they had to actually build this thing in the size that I wanted. So very happy, recommend it to you. Again, last concern, 300 denier fabric, not a fan, would prefer 600 or heavier. Okay, thanks very much.